Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And like me, starting off with your vitamin C. Somebody was asking yesterday, just finishing up here, and I'll say good morning before I answer this question. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Brahim, Portland, Oregon. Good morning, Nick from our staff. Mike from Norland. Nativity, Aaron, Dorita, Kevin, Oshawa. Madeleine, good morning. Marin, how are you? Chantal, Ottawa, good morning. Wendy from Markham. Julie from Sturgeon. Francis, good morning. Vaughn, Leela, Werner, love Werner. Jeanette, Micheline, cold day, yeah, really cold, huh? Renee, Newfoundland. Diane, Kansas. Linda, St. Jude's, Quebec. Amelia, New Brunswick. Jeanette from our staff. And Diane, Thunder Bay. Heather, Thunder Bay, 2 in a row. PEI, Mary, good morning. Beata, Bradford, -30. My word. Good morning, Betty and Andrea. Bonjour, Nouveau-Brunswick. Catherine, good morning from Newfoundland. Good morning, everybody. Milika, Stouffville. Deb from Timmins, must be cold. Debbie, good morning, -28. And Bernice, Newfoundland. Danny, Oshawa. Helena, Cambridge. And Joyce from Kansas. Donna, good morning, Park Hill. Marlene. Dave. Okay. Cindy, good morning. Shelley, Manitoba. Okay, a couple of more. Oh, Kim, good morning. Our friend from Florida. Chantal, good morning from Sudbury. Jordan from West Tennessee, good morning. You guys are great. Donna from Newfoundland. And Ristool, Esther, Judy. Brrr, it's cold. Jerry, our dear friend from Nouveau-Brunswick. Do you know that today is Brandy's birthday? So I call her my boss because she bosses me around. So make sure you wish Brandy on our private Facebook group a happy birthday, okay? Somebody asked yesterday, I saw it, should we be taking quercetin? Well, you don't have to take quercetin if you drink coffee. You got quercetin in coffee. That's why I always tell you, it's the real vitamin C. Coffee's got over 1,000, listen, 1,000 phytochemicals, phytonutrients, 1,000. One of them's quercetin. What's quercetin do? It takes zinc. Oh yeah, and what's zinc, Doc? How do you get zinc? Vitamin S, steak. It takes zinc and drives it inside your cell to build your immune system. Wow, yeah. Drink coffee. It'll drive your vitamin S and the steak, the zinc that's in your vitamin S, right inside your cell wall. Okay? Now, I just posted this 5 minutes ago or so on our private Facebook group. I quoted the CDC director, the Center for Disease Control. We're going to talk about this morning because she made a huge announcement yesterday. And if you guys have listened to me for the last 2 years, you know I said this on day one, but let's just review what she said. Okay? The CDC director yesterday said, I'm quoting, 75% of the virus deaths, okay, occurred in people with at least 4 comorbidities. Okay? 75% of all the deaths of the virus occurred in people with 4 comorbidities. Now we're gonna unpack this a little bit, but this is significant, guys. It's significant. And like I said, I've been consistent. I told you right out of the gate about the elephant in the room that nobody was talking about. In plain English, what does that mean? 75% died, the people that died of the virus had comorbidities, at least 4 of them. Okay? Plain English, 75% of people that died, they died with the virus and not of the virus. That's plain English, guys. That's really what was being said. Now, why is that important? Because all along, I've said to you, the most important factor is our metabolic health. Okay? So today, and if you get our emails, we talked about this morning in an email. The road to disease. The road to it. You're not healthy one day and unhealthy the next. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you could happen if you have a virus, right? I mean, one day you feel fine and the next day you get up and your nose is running and you got a headache and you got flu-like symptoms or whatever. Yeah, that's a bug. But we're talking about metabolic health here, and that doesn't happen overnight. Okay, now I want to read something, okay, from the Bible. Because at the end of the Sermon on the Mount, now you've certainly heard of that sermon, one of the most famous sermons ever that Jesus delivered. It's called the Sermon on the Mount. But at the end of it, he said this, okay? And I'm reading this, okay? Because he talks about 2 roads. And then I'm going to talk about the 2 roads of health. Okay? Here's what he said. You can enter God's kingdom only through the narrow gate. There's a gate at the start of the road. The highway to hell is broad, and the gate is wide, for many choose that way. But the gateway to life is very narrow, and the road is difficult, and only a few ever find it. I tell you guys, this is a real picture. Because what we've said all along, 9 out of 10 people, 88% of the population, 9 out of 10, are unhealthy. They're on the broad road to disease. And remember, disease doesn't happen overnight. And it's really important to understand that, because when they talked about the 4 comorbidities, I'm going to tell you what they were. Okay? Take away old age, like over 80. living in a nursing home. But even there, yes, as you get older, your immune system goes down. That's a natural thing. And, over the age of 70 or whatever, your immune system not like what it used to be, unless you take care of it. So let's take out the comorbidity of old age, because that was really a big factor. But the other four are this. One, and all of these are metabolic syndrome. They start with metabolic syndrome and they go down that broad road. Comorbidity, obesity, and I call it diabesity. Diabesity. What's diabesity? Well, obesity and diabetes, they often go together. And in this virus, it was common. People that were obese, it was 80% of the population, 80% of people that were admitted to hospitals, I brought this to you in the past, were obese. Listen to this statistic. I talked to you about this in the last few weeks. This came out this 2021, not this year, last year, at the end of last year. Here's what was said by the CDC, the very same organization that talked about the comorbidities. Here's what they said. 80% of men in the United States, listen to what I'm saying, 80% of men in the United States of America, it's no different in Canada, are obese. And when you're obese, you really have diabetes without the diagnosis. Because remember what I've talked to you about obesity. Obesity is your body's defense mechanism to keep you away from diabetes, because what insulin does is it will build fat. For some people, it has an unlimited capacity, insulin, to build fat cells. And it's a protective mechanism because all it's doing is storing sugar and carbs into fat. The comorbidities, one was obesity, the other was diabetes, the third one was high blood pressure. High blood pressure. But again, what is that? How do you get high blood pressure? Not because your daddy had it. Because of insulin. It's a symptom. It's not on its own. High blood pressure is a symptom of metabolic syndrome. Okay? And when people ended up in the hospital and died, the vast majority of people were diabetic, obese, had high blood pressure. You know what the other one was? Heart disease. They already had heart disease. They had atherosclerosis. Those are the 4 comorbidities. And Every one of them has to do with food. Yep. Insulin. If I haven't said that word a million times in the last, I don't know. Well, remember, I had a radio show for 20 years. And for 20 years, I was like John the Baptist, screaming in the wilderness about metabolic syndrome. I was talking about it, and I taught my audience, even in my radio days, about insulin and insulin resistance. I wrote books about it years and years ago. 2 hormones that want you dead. Insulin was one. The other was cortisol. I wrote a book, Are You Built for Cancer? What did I talk about? What did I talk about? Insulin. Food. Insulin is a food hormone. If you don't eat, you don't need it. No, you don't. And that's why I love the reset. Now, we sent out an email this morning. Did you get the email? If you didn't, please make sure you get our emails. There's some tremendous teaching in there. And we talked about the broad road that leads to destruction. 88, 9 out of 10 people are on it. They don't know they're on it. They've got lots of company. But doctors don't talk about that road. They wait till you die, or they wait till you're a statistic. Oh, you got high blood pressure. Okay, let's put you on meds. We're not talking about the cause of it. We're talking about managing it. And that has been the mantra. Think about diabetes, guys. I want you to think about it for a minute. I got a very personal interest in diabetes. I've told you the story of my father, my grandfather, diabetics. It was a weakness in our family, for sure. My dad taught me in the 1960s. In the 1960s. Me and carbs, sugars don't get along. Oh yeah? Yeah, we don't get along. We got a bad relationship. Family dynamics. I learned that in the 1960s when I was a teenager from my father. There's no one that ate steak like my dad. No one on the planet, and I mean it. I said, Dad, don't you ever get tired of that? You know? He said, I'm a diabetic. That's what I eat. And my mother would make him his meal. He'd come home from the office from seeing his patients, and he'd have his own meal. And I often would sit like a disciple at my dad's feet, waiting for crumbs. I was always hungry. My dad, there was something about his steak that I always liked. I already ate. But you see, my father taught me. And I never forgot it. You, son, I didn't call you Tony Jr. for nothing. Watch your carbs. What is a carb, Dad? I didn't even know what a carb was. Watch your sugars. Okay, I understand that one. Because, guys, at the end of the day, think about this for a minute. This is astounding what came out yesterday. They're admitting it. Nobody has been talking about your immune system. But the people who got real sick and died had these comorbidities. And if you unpack that, they had trouble with insulin. Now, you guys know, just this morning, 99% more than almost anybody on the planet. You talk about burying their head in the sand. They bury their heads in the sand. They don't like simplistic. They don't. They're on the broad road. And listen to what Jesus said about the narrow road. Okay? Now that was a spiritual thing, but you can apply it. He said the road is narrow and it's difficult. Guys, can I tell you something? To stay healthy is not easy. It takes discipline. We're surrounded. Think of the society that you and I live in. Advertisement from the day kids come out of their womb, the food industry lies to them. Don't you eat bacon and eggs for breakfast. Have our cereals, the Fruit Loops, the Frosted Flakes are great. No, they're not. They're great disease cereals. They'll put you on the road, the broad road, really early in life. That's what they want. They won't say that, but they could care less about your insulin. If you happen to end up with diabetes, the pharmaceutical industry will take over and they will manage your diabetes. They'll give you medication. I have met thousands of patients, thousands. See, in my office, I was a hormone guy. Okay? Like, because I was big on, your thyroid. I was big on ovaries. I was big on the adrenals. And I would measure those things and I would tell patients how to fix them. But primarily, at the end of the day, guys, I was a food guy. You never left my office ever without a plan to eat, to succeed. Because I would try and teach my patients. Look, you can't control everything in life. You could be as healthy as two horses and cross the street and get hit by a bus. Like, you can't. Come on. I mean, yeah, look both ways and whatever. But you know what I mean? You're not in control of everything in life. But you can control what you put in your mouth. And I never said it was going to be easy for anybody. I never said, oh, by the way, this is easy. I would tell them it's simple, but it's not easy. There's a difference. It's simple because I'm going to get you to understand physiology. I'm going to show you how your body works in a simple way. But it's not going to be easy because you're going to have to discipline your body. The toughest words in the English language is no. No. And when you say no long enough to carbs and you say no long enough to sugar, it gets easier. As people start the reset, look, we get feedback every day. Okay? Oh, Dr. Martin, this is hard. Yep, it's hard, especially if you've been a carboholic. Doc, I love bread. Yeah, me too. Doc, I love pasta. Yeah, me too. I love sugar. Me too. I like drinking sugar. Me too. Well, I don't anymore, but I used to. Okay? And take it from me, I've been on the narrow road for a lot of years. A lot of years. Over 50. Over 50 years. I have to be careful. Every once in a while, I look over there to the broad road and go, oh, geez, those people are having fun. But they're on their way to destruction. Warning, warning. They're on meds. They're on statin drugs. They're on high blood pressure medications. They're on acid reflux medications. Oh God, I can eat whatever I want as long as I take Tums. You know, whenever I heard Tums, I would do, dun, 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 you're in trouble. Because for me, it was the acid reflux as a symptom. You got acid reflux, your body is going, hey, hello, I'm in trouble. Stop eating the way you're eating. Hello. You're not listening. Why are you taking Prevacid? Why are you taking the purple pill? Stop. Fix the problem. That's what your body's saying when you have acid reflux. As a matter of fact, that's what your body is saying when you have high blood pressure. That's what your body is saying when you have high triglycerides and low HDL. Your body's screaming at you. It's trying to get your attention. So guys, when I saw that yesterday, they're finally admitting it. Number one, that the body does have an immune system. And the immune system sure gets railroaded, sidetracked, if you don't eat right. But people don't put it together. Eat whatever you want. And when you get sick, take meds. And, you know, it's, guys, I know that sounds simple. It sounds, wow, it's almost too easy. Not easy, but too simple. It's too... Doc, it has to be more complicated than that. Well, I'm telling you, not according to the CDC director. They're finally getting, admitting. Like, I think they're up to, in the United States, 800,000 deaths. But 75% of them with the virus, not from the virus. That's the CDC said that. Guys, that's incredible. It's incredible. So you want to get on the narrow road. That's what I'm preaching every day. I'm a preacher. I am. I preach the Bible and I preach health. Okay? I do. And I'm consistent. Your enemy is carbs, crappy carbs, made with crappy oils and crappy sugar. And if you can avoid that, if you can get on the narrow road, it's worth it. It's worth it. And, you know, this is what I call, okay, lifestyle medicine. It becomes a lifestyle. I'm serious, guys. I'd be in the grocery store, people would come up to me because they always want to know what I get. Okay, like, what's in your basket there, Doc? And remember, I had a radio show, TV show for years. People recognized me. Or they came to see me 20, 30 years before in the office. I didn't remember them. But somehow they knew me. And they go, Doc, you taught me how to eat 20 years ago. I did? Yep. 20 years ago, you told me to get off those stinking carbohydrates. Because I was on the broad road to destruction. And you told me. I did? Yeah. Well, good for you. You went home and did it? Yep. It changed my life. You see, folks, that's lifestyle medicine. We don't teach that. Lifestyle. Change your diet. Change your fuel. Yep. And it'll change the road you're on. Even according to the CDC. Now, they didn't talk about food. They should have. I wish they'd bring me in. I could teach people at the CDC. I'd give them Nutrition 101. Whenever anybody asks me to speak, okay, I always give them Nutrition 101. I'm going to blow your socks away, guys, with the basics of nutrition. I start there. Yep, I start there. Okay. Did you have fun today? No, but guys, you guys are on the right road. Read the news behind the news. I know you do, because you're thinking. I want you to think for yourself. There's a lot of confusing messages out there. Here's what I'm trying to do, by the way, with the podcast. I'm trying to earn your trust. I got to earn your trust. I used to do that with my patients. Earn their trust. You trust me for 30 days and you'll see that I'm right. I need to earn trust. Okay. Thank you for, a couple of million hits between the Facebook Live and the podcast, the Doctors In podcast. Guys, you make me. You make me. Really. What good would a podcast be if no one was listening to it? What good would Facebook Live be if no one was watching it? Well, you guys make that successful. Thank you for that. Thank you for making our book, The Metabolic Reset. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to say it again. To me, And I'm biased, I admit it. It's the best book that's been written in health in the last 20 years. I just got to say it. Because we hit the nail on the head. It's food, not your environment. It's food for your health. It's the foundation of the pyramid. You better eat right if you do nothing else. Okay. Okay, guys, we really do love you, and we'll talk to you soon.